Welcome back to the channel, y'all. PokeMatrix 54 here with another exciting investment video. Who's ready to make some money? That is the question I'm always asking myself and phrasing it to myself in the sense of what should I be buying next? What should you be buying next? I hope you're asking that. And I really think right now we're in a very uh, a unique time, a time we haven't been in years. The opportunity is there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And hey, while y'all I'm flipping y'all around, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, dropping a comment down below, I'd sure appreciate hearing from you and letting me know your thoughts. Look, guys, Destined Rivals reprints are upon us. That's going to draw so much attention. Journey Together reprints are upon us. Booster boxes, at least. What's if there's something else? Right now, they haven't announced it yet. And then obviously we know the big behemoth that is going to take up most of people's attention. It is coming out. The clock is ticking. As we look here, we're only a few weeks away. That is the 30th anniversary. They're going to have so many SKU numbers, so many items, and rightfully so. I'm not saying any of those things I mentioned don't deserve attention. They will get much attention. But there's going to be some things that get kind of cast to the wayside, if you want to phrase it that way. To me, one of those items, what could we be looking at that kind of dips or people just move their attention away from and prices dip? It's these first partners. That's what I'm talking about today. Look, Series 1, I'm not going to say it's unreachable at this point, but because, I mean, hey, it was at $80 at one point selling. I mean, they were selling 130 sold in a 3-day period here just a couple months ago, hovering back down to about 65. I think if you can get these for around the $60 range, they're still a really good pickup if you have the money. Series 1, remember, is always going to be king because it has the very first OG starters, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. That's what people are going to want the most. And we're going to look at some singles here too, so hold on a sec. Series 2, tanking. I mean, I don't know why people don't like. People love Black Bolt White Flare, apparently. I mean, it's hard to get. Maybe that's part of it, but this features Gen 5 and Gen 2, one of my favorites with Totodile. Um, so why is this tanking so much? Maybe it's because the Perfect Order and Chaos Rising packs. Whereas Gen 1 had Mega Base and Phantasmal, a much stronger pack selection. But just the packs in general, I mean, these are retail MSRP for $15, $14.99. And these have tanked. I've seen these locally on Marketplace for like 25 bucks in a few cases. Those people will have them on there for like 28 or 4 for 25 each if you buy all 4. So, I mean, really good deal, honestly. And this is aftermarket on the open Facebook. At least it's not this, it's not TCG, but still sitting at $30. You know, most people locally want to be a little bit under that a lot of times. I do when I'm selling stuff locally. So $30. Wow. Why are we not buying these, y'all? We should be buying more of these. I've picked up a few. I paid around 30, low 30s of Gen 2, Gen 3. Look, y'all, I do try to wait in line and get them for MSRP. When I don't and I have the extra capital, I'm going to be picking up a few. Next show's coming up here soon locally, and I will be trying to buy more of these, and they will not be to resell. I promise you. I do want to keep a few. Um, if you want my personal opinion on the sealed portion, I really like Gen 1 the most. Honestly, I could care. I'm not going to say I care less, but I I'm not going to stack up on Gen 2 and Gen 3. I do want to have a few sealed, don't get me wrong, but dozens and dozens, no. If it's dozens and dozens, I'm sticking with Gen 1 and paying the extra money. But wow, if y'all can get these for $30, you got to ask yourself, what's more likely to double? Gen 1 from 60 to 120 or Gen 2 or 3 from 30 to 60? It's probably going to be Gen 2 or 3. It's an easier double up because it's a lower price point. Could these get lower? I mean, we have seen Dollar General and Family Dollar get some waves of these, and they continually get restocked at random times. Target, Best Buys, Walmart's. So let's run through the singles real fast. Bulbasaur had a high of 45, sitting at 28 now. Could it get down lower? Could it get down to mid 20s? Maybe. But this is a Gen 1. If you're going to have any singles in your binder of these are going to be the most desirable, the most easily resold later on. This Charmander here, sitting in the 40s, and it's held pretty strong. Yes, right, it's the evolution of Charizard. You can see why it's the most popular. 37 bucks. So 37, a little under 30 for the grass. Squirtle being at 28, he did have a high of $38. You can get the trio for under 100 bucks nowadays in most cases. Long term, these are going to be such great artworks. They really are. They tell such a great story in the background. There's so many Easter eggs from the original Game Boy games to the badges that Ash had to fight for and get. And moving on into Turtwig, a lot of these, I would say, less well-known starters. Turtwig, $6. I mean, just running through them. Chimchar, $6 market price, $6 to $7. Piplup, yeah, you'll get one like this every so often. That's a little bit more popular. I said $15, but he's dropped down to 11 bucks now. Every one of these is going to be on my buy list at the next show, y'all. I'm telling you. Rowlet, probably the least popular of the three, $5. You can't tell me this isn't going to be a $10 card in the near future, probably in less than a year. And you say, well, Matrix, so what? $10? That ain't moving the needle. Well, what if you buy 500 copies of these? That definitely moves the needle. You just turned, if you make 100% gain in, say, a year or less, where are you going to do that on the stock market? Every 10 years, you're going to do that about 7 years on average. 10%, averaging 10% return. If you get 7% return, it's going to be like a 10-year time frame. So to do it in 1 year with cardboard is insane, y'all. That's why I'm passionate about this hobby and the potential as an alternative asset. Litten here, $6. I mean, Poplio, $5. That's the price of a freaking Pitch Black booster pack right now at Target, if you can even find some. And by the way, I did walk into Target earlier today, not looking for cards, but just glanced over there, and they had a bunch of Pitch Black sleeve boosters and some Perfect Order with the single blisters with the promo card. So stuff is sitting on the shelf. No, it's not all the time, and yeah, that's probably going to be sold out in a day or two. But it isn't instantly being sold out. And I get it's the crappier sets. I'm not going to call them crappy, but the less desirable sets, I get it. That's what the last three have been. But I'm just telling y'all, the price of a pack, Chikorita Gen 2 holds very, very dear in a lot of people's heart. $7 to $8. Cyndaquil, a little bit more popular, fire type. He's sitting at 12. Like Cyndaquil was $30 a few months ago. Now it's 12, 13. It's dropped in half. Why are you not buying these right now? I'm telling y'all. I'm giving you the warning. Here it is, right here. Totodile, one of my personal favorite Pokemon of all time. He was sitting at $43, and now he's 17. 17.30, like 60+% drop. Buy this Totodile, please, somebody. This speaks to, in volume, for the upper tier investors. You should be buying these in volume, in my opinion. To all my poor boys out there, buy a few. Buy a page full. That's 9 to 12 pages in a binder. Buy a page full of Snivies. He's sitting here saying, why don't you buy me? I started off at $18. Now I'm dropped to 75% down, under $5. I promise y'all I'm going to write these prices down before the next show, and I'm going to buy from every binder that people want to sell that has these in them. I don't care if it's Snivy, I don't care if it's Charmander, or Tepig at $4 to $5. Every single one of them I'm buying. I want to complete one for my master set, of course, but I want some extras to make a singles play. I'm definitely making a singles play on these. I don't see why you're not. Every one of them I'm showing you started off at 20-ish bucks, now down to about 8. Oshawott. Grookey, pretty popular generation here. I can't remember which one it's from. Drop me off a comment down below if you remember which one Grookey's from. It eventually evolves into Rillaboom. $15 to $20. He was selling at $20 on release. Now I get it, it's release, things tend to drop a little bit, but in today's market, they don't always drop. Singles don't always drop, but they have on every single occasion here. They're dropping 75%. You're gonna tell me Grookey is gonna get any cheaper than $4.50? And eventually, cards get so cheap, they just hit rock bottom. They hit bottom. And I'm telling you right now, right here today, I believe most of these cards are just about at rock bottom, in my opinion. I'm making massive plays on these at the next show, every binder. And guess what? I'll be a vendor, so I'll get to buy and offer cash at a discount. So even better. So hopefully this $4 to $5 card I can offer like $3 for. I don't care. I'll fill up a binder full of every single one of these. Scorbunny was 20 down to 5. You can see a trend here. Almost 20, 18 to 19. $3 for Sobble? Yo, why does nobody like Sobble that much? $3? Illustration rare level cards with tons of Easter eggs in the background. How are y'all not buying these? Trico. Okay, this is a damaged one, but at a near mint, sitting around $10. What? Whoa, why was the data skewed on this one? Okay, I don't know what's up with Trico, but TCG doesn't have any data. But I'm going to assume, similar to the other ones, it was probably around $20 on release. Now it's sitting at about 10. Torchic. Anybody remember the old Gold Star Torchic? So these must be from Gen 3, from the Gen 3 boxes, because there's less data. $25 already tanked down to 10 to 11. Mudkip, a lot of people's favorite here, probably why it's still holding a little bit of a premium out of the starters. A lot of people like Mudkip, and drop me a comment what this evolves into eventually. I think it's, name's escaping me right now, but just don't remember. Anyway, it was selling in the 30s, has dropped, you could argue, about a third, down to 22. Still a really solid card. Like $20 doesn't scare me away. If it's one of the popular ones like Bulbasaur, Squirtle. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Mudkip, if it's one of the Gen 3 boxes, let Mudkip go down in price a little bit. These ones from the Gen 2 boxes that are all sitting around like $5 for many of them, that's absolutely the rock bottom in my opinion. But if you're going to pay $20 for a Mudkip, y'all, why are we not just paying a little bit more to get, let's say, Squirtle? Squirtle's sitting at 27. Pay $5 more. Squirtle's absolutely going to do better long term than Mudkip. You can take that to the bank. But still, I want to have one of each of these. I haven't collected them all. When I do find one, got lucky in a store one day, walked right in. They had stocked around lunchtime. They had a few of these, bought one. And that was the limit, of course. They only had a few. I just don't want to open it. I just like keeping things sealed. Just opened too much and gotten too little over the years, so that's just kind of where I'm at right now. But Chespin, fairly popular, kind of, at $7, still a really good price. The poor boy in me is like, heck yeah, I'm glad these are cheap. Finnegan at $7. Froakie, a pretty fan favorite, evolves into Greninja, right? $8 to $9. Man, these are so cheap. I mean, a really, really good promo. Promos do well long term. A lot of good promos do really well. You got to think, too. Figure what generation this is from, and when those kids around that 12-ish plus or minus year range, I'm not saying you can't be older and still it's cool to collect. Don't get me wrong, but say a lot of kids getting in it from like 8 to 15. Let's say the range. those kids become adults. What generation do they grow upon? Whatever that is in this here, these cards will skyrocket eventually. Mine was Gen 1, Gen 2, and they're eventually going to skyrocket. What about the kids right now? They like Sprigatito. They like Fuecoco, which is coming up here. Here he is. $8 for Fuecoco. And they like the last water type Quaxley. Look, these are today. It could take 10 years for those kids to become adults, get that money from working and get entering into the workforce. But when they do, they're going to want to come back, many of them, and relive their childhood like I did. And you don't think they're going to pay, say, $50 for their favorite starter, or $100, or whatever this card's going for? They absolutely will. That's exactly why grown-ups now go back and chase their childhood, and they say, I want that Hollow Blastoise, that Hollow Venusaur, that Hollow Dragonite, whatever, Charizard. The opportunity is so great right now, and it's right now. 30th isn't even out, but you never know. This hobby is very shifty. It can change on a dime. I'm just a tiny content creator out here. I hope I'm shouting this out for enough people to hear, because I want y'all to do well, and I want to share my opinion and my beliefs based on what the data looks like. Fuecoco, 16 down to 8. I'm not showing y'all every one of these, but they're all the same. They've all had massive drops. Quaxley was selling at 10 down to 5. 50+% drops, y'all. Don't wait for this to get any cheaper. It's about as cheap as it's gonna get, and you never know. They've shown that they've kind of been printing these first partners, but when they're gone, they're gone. To me, when 30th comes out, they're gonna focus on that. They're already focusing on Destined reprints, Journey Together reprints, and when these are gone, they're gone. I'm just saying, they're hard to get. Not the best example, but take a look at this Victini promo. It came in that illustration box, and it just kind of came and went. Once it was gone, it was gone. They didn't do too many reprints of this box or restocks, and they've kind of shown that they've done a little more with these. I get that, than say the Victini box, but you could have bought the Victini box for, okay, so it hasn't done that well, $10, but then it skyrocketed to 16. It's been pretty volatile. It was as low as $6, and now it's at 14. So if you would have timed it in that low range and said, hey, wow, his Christmas time last year, I'm looking at this Victini for about $7, man, it seems like a really cheap price. This bottom here for Victini is, I think, where many of these illustrations I just showed you currently are. I believe they're near or at rock bottom. You've got to be aware when that happens. They're just not going to get that much cheaper than that. There's kind of a breaking point, a tipping point, where it's like $5 becomes so cheap for a card like that. It's not going to get any lower than that. And many of those cards were about $5 to $6. And look, if you would have bought Victini in less than a year, really like 8 months, you're doubled up on your money. You're 100% up. In 6 months, y'all, you're not getting that in the stock market. I'm just saying. I keep saying it. So let me know what you think. Am I crazy? I don't think I am. I believe this can be one of the best plays of this fall. Y'all have just got to trust me on this and take advantage. Take advantage, and you got to have iron hands. You got to be able to stomach it. If it goes down a few more bucks, say, you know what, I'll buy a few more and dollar cost average in. I think you'll do well long term if you just take this advice. So what do y'all think? Am I crazy? Does this look like a genius play? Because some of these cards, I don't care if it's Snivy, which is probably very few people's favorite. I don't care if that's a $5 card. You're not going to ever sell me on the fact that it's going to stay $5 forever. Absolutely not. Any one of these cards will probably be at least $10 in about a year, maybe a little bit more when it really seems like, okay, they're not printing more of these first partner boxes and people wake up to it. that's when it's too late. That's when it's already kind of risen and probably gained double in 6 months to 12 months. Buy them now before that happens. This is your warning bell. It's going off. I'm telling y'all, buy these. This will be probably one of your best investments. I know it's singles. I know they're a little bit more dicey and volatile, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, these first partner 2 and 3s are excellent pickups in the $25 to $30 range. Negotiate at some of those card shows, on Facebook Marketplace, on OfferUps, wherever you're looking locally. Negotiate, find some deals. Think these could be some great plays for you. That wraps up this episode. I will catch y'all on the next one. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching from on the globe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.